Okay, let's talk about a really crazy painting technique. Have you ever thought of using a block of wood to paint a piece of furniture? Well, let me tell you, you get the coolest, chippiest, shabby chic look because the block of wood is a hard surface against the plain flat surface of your piece, and you get a really cool finish. So you have this cabinet, it's a turquoise color, and we're just going to add some red to it. All I'm doing is I took a 2x4 that's been cut, and by the way, I call these magic blocks of wood because they really do transform things without a brush. All I'm doing is dipping my block of wood into some paint and just running it across. Basically, it causes a friction. The two flat surfaces together cause a friction, and then just kind of do a sporadic type of look along the piece. Now, my block of wood could have been a little bit smaller so I could fit a little bit better in between some of those areas where I couldn't get it. And I do have a small trowel that I'm going to use a little bit later to show you how I got into those areas. But you could actually cut your own block of wood just a little bit smaller. It's basically a friction against friction, flat against flat, and it just trowels it right over the top. What it does is it gives you a really cool look of a rustic, chippy finish. You can use one color, you can use 3 colors, you can use 5 colors. So I have this little tiny petite trowel. I do retail these. They are so nice because it fits right in that little groove right there where the block of wood would not. Now, the block of wood was free, of course. I had scrap wood. I had my husband cut it for me. Petite trowel, of course, is an expense, but it is a nice little tool to have to get into those little bit of a small areas. Once again, it is another flat surface against a flat surface. All I'm doing is dipping it in and running it along. I mean, seriously, this is the easiest painting technique that you'll ever want to do. You don't have to have a fancy paintbrush. I have done many of these where I've added like 7 and 8 colors. Sometimes I only do a 2-color combination, like this one will be just the red over the turquoise. And then we'll add some dark wax in the end. It'll deepen and darken it up, and we'll be finished. I mean, seriously, you can't get any easier. So the block of wood is great. Just dip it in and just run it down. Have you tried it? Will you try it? Are you intrigued? Isn't it sweet? It's just easy. It's easy and fun and simple, and you're gonna love it. So, who's gonna try it? Do you have a piece of scrap wood laying around your house? I bet you do. I bet you, it took me seriously 20 minutes to paint the entire front of this with this block of wood, including the sides. It was so fast, so easy, and such a great way to change and just give us a really cool, just a cool and different kind of look. It doesn't always have to be black and white. It always doesn't have to be one color, with blending. Let's make it interesting. Let's kind of to spice it up a little, so to speak. Let me just show you on the side how easy this is to do. The block of wood, this is regular chalk paint that I'm using. The color I'm actually using is from Dixie Belle. It is called Honky Tonk Red, which is like a fire engine red. Do you see how cool that block of wood just makes? I just love it. Absolutely love this look. Of course, if you have a piece that has a lot of curves and stuff, it's just really not gonna work for something like that. This is a pretty straightforward, pretty straight angles, not a lot of curves or embellishments. It's just pretty straight, pretty easy. I mean, how long did that take? This is real time. That took 30 seconds to paint that side. It's done. Let it dry. And then, go over it with some wax. So we've done the whole front. The top, I decided to not add any of the red. I didn't really want too much. So what I'm doing is I'm sealing this paint. This paint on the base is Dixie Belle Blue and the blue color. And so I am actually applying some Wise Owl wax on the top. I never looked at my face when I do waxing, but I look so like I am really concentrating. Look at my mouth. I was like, wow. I guess I don't think about, I'm just like concentrating. It's so funny to watch. So don't look at me. But anyhow, we're just adding a thin coat of wax, clear wax on first. We're going to actually put some brown wax over the top of this thing. I'm going to tone down the whole thing. But I thought I'd put some clear on first just in case I didn't like the brown and I needed to erase it. So I'm just going to go and do that. I'm going to buff it all in with my microfiber. Just going to really buff that wax in. You can see that it's taking it off and it's just sealing that paint. So now it just looks really, really nice. A really beautiful finish. Then we are going to add some dark brown wax. Really dark brown wax. My go-to dark brown wax is from the brand DIY. I love this wax. It's another oil-based wax. It is super fluid and it will go such a far way. Like, this wax is sensational. It'll go on smoothly. It'll come up smoothly. I could have used a brown glaze, but I really just thought I'd do wax really quickly and see how it's turned out. So I'm just adding with a big brush. I generally don't use a big brush for the dark waxes because I usually don't use this much. But I wanted to tone down that blue. I didn't want it to be so bright because we're going to tone it down the whole cabinet. So I'm really getting it worked into the paint. I'm going to then take my microfiber and remove it all. Basically what's going to be left is, because it is a chalk-based paint, it has a lot of porous areas. So that wax is going to settle down into the porous areas and just be an accent, not going to be like this. Now let me tell you this, if I hadn't put clear wax first, do you see what the top looks like right now? And I would have just went in with the dark wax, that's what it would have looked like, and it would have been too much. So the reason that you put the clear wax down first is it kind of helps add a buffer. It allows me to be able to do what I'm doing now, kind of wipe it off, where you can't really see it that much on the video, but in real life, it just gives it a little bit of a deeper hue, more of a rustic hue, without being so bright. It dumbs down and tones down that bright blue. So if I hadn't put the clear wax down, it would have just been a mess and I would have never got it to tone down. Now I'm going to go directly over with dark wax on the sides. I want to tone down this color. I want to tone down the blue and tone down the red. I don't want to be so bright. Now on the inside of the cabinet, we're going to leave it just the bright blue and we're just going to put a clear wax and call it good. But on the outside, I wanted to kind of make a little bit of a deeper look. So we are adding the dark wax over the entire thing. Generally when I do pieces, I only add it to accents. But on this one, I just wanted to really just deepen the look and make it just that much more aged, because that dark wax will really age it. I'm going to then take my microfiber once again. You see the difference from the top and the bottom? By just toning down. Chalk paint, like I said a minute ago, is very porous. So it really does absorb into that really quickly. Do the same thing we did on the top. We're going to take the microfiber. We're going to remove the excess wax because you don't want it to just stay like this. You want it to just be a highlight, not like you threw something on it, mud on it, and seeing if it stick. No, we just want it to be a highlight. So it's going to be a great highlight. Try to find a clear part on the rag. And what it's doing is just deepening the red and the blue. It's just deepening and antiquing it. So as in all my videos, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. And if you'd like to order any of the supplies that I used here today, hey, I sell them all. It's tonatransformations.com. Look forward to hearing from you. And as always, go out and be fabulous. Thanks for watching.